Alright guys, like the title says, I'm going to show you how to convert 556 into 300 Blackout Brass in about 4 easy steps. I mean, it's not real difficult to do. I know a lot of people get a little bit intimidated with this stuff, but this is not that hard to do. One of the first things to make things easy is pick you up one of these little Harbor Freight chop saws. Of course, I set this one up with a little stop that I made to give me the correct overall length that I'm looking for. And what I want to do is just cut right behind this shoulder here to just take off this here. So yeah, it's real simple. For the first step, toss your case in here, snug that down, turn this on. It's going to get a little bit noisy. Then you just go ahead, bring this down, cut that off. Of course, you got to watch for your blade. You don't want to get your finger into that blade. Yeah. Toss your brass in, snug her down, cut her off. Do this for however many pieces of brass you want to make. I'm going to be doing about 25 today, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. Okay, we got some of our cases here. The next step I like to do before I actually form them is to anneal them. That makes sure that the brass is nice and soft when you run it through your sizing die. So we're going to go ahead, get a propane torch fired up here. Adjust our flame down a little bit. I got an old baking pan here, filled a little past halfway with water. And we'll get this here cranked in. You don't need a lot of flame. Normally just about that much. Say maybe a ½ inch of flame. The way I do it, easiest way I found is just hold the case in your fingers. Rotate it back and forth through the flame up on the neck area, and this case will warm up fairly quickly. When it gets to the point where it's getting a little bit too hot to hold, like right there, drop her in the water. That way you don't overheat the body and the head of the case, because if it gets too hot to hold, you know it's about the right temperature at the neck. There's a lot of other ways to anneal, but this is the easiest way that I found. Yeah, they do warm up pretty quick. I mean, your fingers will get a little bit toasty. So yeah, you just sit here and do each case and get them all annealed, and then we'll be ready for our next step. Whew, that gets warm. Okay, we got all our cases annealed. Something that I like to do before I run them through my sizer, I guess you could call it a half a step, not really a big step, is to go ahead and take your little chamfer tool and just run her around the outside and inside to get any burrs off. That way when you run it through your sizer, it's a little bit smoother operation. So you just sit here and just run it a little bit just to break any burrs that you got from cutting the cases down. So we'll go ahead and we'll get all these deburred, and then we'll be ready for step number 3, and we'll get on with this. So let me get all these deburred and we'll be right back. Alright, we've got all our cases deburred. Now before we size them, we need to lube these. Easiest way that I found to lube them is to get the Lee lube, mix it with 91% alcohol, put it in a little spray bottle like this. Just hose them down, shake them around a little bit. That way you get lube on the entire case. That should be good right there. Let's go ahead and dump these out right here and we'll get ready to size. Alright, for this next step, I'm going to be using my new Lyman T-Mag 2 turret press. I've been wanting to get a new press for a while. I've been running that little partner press for probably 25 years. But as you can see, this is adjustable. You can just leave your dies in. I got my sizing die here, seating die, and then my factory crimp die in. So we're going to stick it on the sizing die. I'm going to adjust the little stop at the back so we won't get any flex. Of course, you grabbed your lubed case, put it in your shell holder, run it right on up into your die. It'll deprime it. Here's our sized case. Let's do another one here. That sizes and deprimes. You get your sized case. So you're going from this, and you're sizing that neck to 30 caliber. So that gets everything good to go for one of our next steps, which is going to be pretty much the final step. This is step 3. Trim and anneal and then size. And our next step we'll be trimming these guys to length. So let me finish these up and we'll move to our final step number 4. Alright, we've got everything sized. Got a piece of brass in the case trimmer. I got her set to 1'360", which is where I kind of like to run them. You can run them anywhere from 1'358" all the way, I think max they said was 1'368". So I think 360 is a good way to go. So we'll go ahead and we just go trim this down. This will get us to our proper overall length on our case. Go ahead and deburr this case once you trim it. Hit it with a little deburr tool of some kind. If you're running 223 converting it, you won't have to do this next kind of micro step. But if you're running military brass, you're going to need to cut this crimp out. I use this little Lyman case prep tool right here. Works real good. So yeah, you just go ahead and lock these in, bring it in, cut it to length. Just takes a few turns. Get the burr off that's left from trimming. See, that's real simple. Run your tool around. And cut the crimp out of the primer pocket. And that's about it. We will have one more kind of final step, I guess. I mean, I know I said 4 steps, and really 4 steps get you the brass. But my final step, I like to go ahead and throw these in the tumbler. That'll get that little bit of case lube that's left over off of the brass, shines it up nice, makes it look good from where you annealed it. And then also I do like to go ahead and resize it again before I load. This step right here, I think it kind of stretches the neck out a little bit. You don't get the same neck tension once you trim it down like this as you do if you resize it. So I like to go ahead and resize it before I load. And it's, you know, just gives you a more even bullet pull on that neck. Makes things more consistent. So let me get these finished up and then we'll throw them in the tumbler and I'll show you the finished product here in just a little bit. Alright, we've had these in the tumbler probably about a half an hour. And they were fairly clean to begin with, so it doesn't take long to just get that little bit of lube off. So we're going to go ahead and dump them out. Pop our lid off right here. And this is something I didn't have for a long time, was a good tumbler, but it really comes in handy to get your brass nice and clean, makes it a lot easier to load. don't get your fingers so dirty when you use a tumbler. Of course, you go ahead and make sure you knock all of the media out of the inside of the cases. Get all these out of there. And I picked this tumbler up, 20, 25 years ago. I actually had to order it from Cabela's. This is long before I ever thought about working there. But yeah, it's our 400 tumbler kit. We still have these. You get your pan, tumbler, medium, everything. It's a real handy little kit to have. Everything you need. Of course, you pick up your little bucket from Lowe's or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can see right here, got our 300 Blackout Brass, more or less ready to load. Was 556 just a little bit ago. Now we got 300 Blackout. Of course, I will go ahead and lube them up and resize them one more time before I load them. That way I get a good consistent neck, and it gives you a better bullet pull. Because like I said, I think the trimmer stretches it out with that collet that's on there. But hey, don't be afraid to get into making your own brass for your 300 Blackout. It's not a hard thing to do. It's really simple. So I hope you guys found this informative. Maybe helped you out. Maybe kind of steered you in the direction of doing this yourself. So like I always say, either we stand up for our rights or we sit by and watch them go away. You guys have an awesome day. We'll catch you later. Tennessee Frank out of here.